What if the greatest threat to humanity isn't war, isn't disease, isn't technology? What if it's something we don't even notice anymore? Something silent, gradual, and everywhere. Disconnection from nature, from truth, from each other, from our bodies, from meaning itself. We've normalized a life that pulls us further from what makes us human, and in doing so, we've paid a price. This video isn't about fear. It's about remembering what we've lost, what we still have, and how nature can guide us back. Let's begin. We didn't evolve under fluorescent lights and Wi-Fi signals. We were made for sunlight, barefoot contact with the earth, fresh air, clean water. But today, the average person spends 90% of their time indoors. We eat from boxes, breathe conditioned air. Forget what silence sounds like, and it shows. Vitamin D deficiency is widespread. Seasonal depression rises in colder months. Allergies and asthma are more common in children who grow up away from dirt and nature. This isn't a small shift. It's biological disorientation. Our immune systems weaken. Hormones dysregulate. We feel anxious, inflamed, and unbalanced. We treat these symptoms with pills when the real issue might be the absence of nature. The good news, nature is still here, waiting. Science now confirms what ancient cultures already knew. Walking in a forest lowers cortisol, blood pressure, and heart rate. Grounding reduces inflammation and improves sleep. Sunlight exposure regulates melatonin and boosts mood. Even a short walk in green space can reduce stress, boost memory, improve problem solving. It is not expensive. It doesn't come in a bottle. It's the medicine we forgot we needed. Nature isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. We scroll more than we reflect. Our opinions are shaped by curated feeds. We're bombarded by headlines, outrage, and data, but starved for wisdom. Truth has become commercialized, and questioning the dominant narrative is risky. We often outsource thinking too. Media outlets with agendas, institutions funded by industry, influencers selling products. Disconnection from truth leads to confusion, mistrust, and division. We stop listening to ourselves and start depending on filters. Nature doesn't lie. A tree grows, a storm comes, the sun sets. No spin, no agenda. When you sit in stillness, real stillness, the noise fades. Your nervous system calms. Your mind slows. Truth becomes a felt sense, not a headline. You begin to discern what's real, not based on fear, but on clarity. Truth lives in rhythm, in balance, in cycles, and those things can't be faked. We're more digitally connected and more emotionally starved. Loneliness now affects over half the population in some countries. Studies show it's as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. We've lost intergenerational living, long dinners with friends, community celebrations, space to be vulnerable. Instead, we scroll in silence, perform, curate, edit. But what we really need, presence, someone who sees us. Without distraction, nature naturally slows us down. When you walk with someone in a forest, you speak differently. You listen more, laugh more. Around a fire, stories flow. Around trees, masks fall. Connection doesn't need a group chat. It needs ritual. Gathering to hike, plant, harvest, swim. These aren't trends. They are ancestral memory. We don't need to invent new ways to connect. We need to remember the old ones. Modern life teaches us to override pain, numb it, fatigue, push through, hunger, distract yourself. We treat our bodies like machines until they break down. Disconnection from the body shows up as chronic illness, anxiety, disordered eating, restlessness, and yet the body keeps trying to speak. Symptoms are not enemies. They are messengers. Nature invites you to feel again. Cold plunges awaken breath. Barefoot walking restores posture. Gardening reconnects us to hunger and satiety. This isn't exercise. It's embodiment. Feeling your breath, your pace, your skin in the wind. The more we connect to the earth, the more we inhabit ourselves. Healing begins with presence. What's it all for? That question haunts many quietly. We fill our days with tasks and yet feel empty. We chase likes, but miss belonging. Spiritual disconnection is rarely named, but deeply felt. It shows up as chronic dissatisfaction, impulse addiction, apathy, and depression. We weren't meant to live for algorithms. We were meant to live for something greater. Nature gives no lectures, but it shows us. Life follows cycles. Everything is connected. Growth happens underground first. Planting a seed becomes a meditation. Watching seasons pass becomes prayer. Meaning isn't something you find, it's something you feel in rhythm. Nature invites you to remember your place in something vast and sacred. Let's be honest, we are more sick, anxious, divided, distracted, lost not because we're weak, but because we're out of alignment. Disconnection isn't just a feeling, it's a syndrome. And the longer we stay disconnected, the harder it becomes to remember who we are. You don't need to start over. You need to return to truth, to nature, to each other, to your body, to what matters. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Disconnection was the illusion. Connection is your inheritance. And you've never lost it. You've just forgotten how to listen. Now's the time to remember.